Hi, my name is Abigail Ramirez. I'm at Simons Middle School. I'm the TTL and TTS at site, and I teach language arts. Today's lesson has to do with looking at the pros and cons of defense versus innocence of a child. Well, you guys are going to be the experts. Instead of having our regular criminal case that we normally would have with our debate going back and forth, or writing our argumentative essay, which I already know you know how to write. We had been reading articles that had to do with violence in texts and banned books, as well as a student survey at the end of the first semester where students requested to have a murder mystery done, and when they completed that, students actually started reflecting on their reading and said, wait a minute, Ms. Ramirez, this is the exact same thing we went through, but it's more realistic. Why are these books banned if there's a more realistic portrayal of what could happen with consequences? And I said, okay, my experts, we're going to have a TED Talk. We're going to do things a little different. You've done one of these before. You've done Go Animate, and you've done a TED Talk. Your teams are going to have an option of going TED Talk or Go Animate to present your side of the case. Ms. Ramirez, do I get to pick my own team and my own side of the issue? No. There's a surprise at your desk. Today, no, I'm sorry. And what that means in my class is that students are actually using their Chromebooks to do a lot of the research and compiling of information. We do have paper-based books. However, their research is compiled in their Chromebooks so that way they can work collaboratively as their teammates work together as well. And then from there, they present it in a TED Talk or in a Go Animate animation, and students actually have a lot of choice in this. And the rationale behind that is because it's very college-oriented for them. They will have to make a lot of choices once they reach the high school and college level. So if they're starting to make those tough decisions of what would be the best way to present this information, it facilitates the student thought process for the future. For example, I had a student who said, well, wait a minute, Ms. Ramirez, this is supposed to be a professional presentation. So wouldn't an expert TED Talk be the best thing to use? That's a great thought process. Another student said, well, we can best illustrate the crime as it's taking place with Go Animate, so we can show it to our audience to show the guilt or the innocence of the individual. Yet I had other students who said, well, wait a minute, what if I use both? I can have my expert talk as well as my illustrations there for other people to see, and it's very interesting to see students actually make that type of leap where before in the classroom you would just simply have a debate and you would go back and forth. Now, when in turn you have a TED Talk or a Go Animate technology-based lesson, you're having students go a little deeper, pushing the envelope to make sure that they get their ideas across. And it's especially telling when you have students receive sides that they don't necessarily believe in, but they have to convince themselves as well as their audience in order to believe that. So with the expert TED Talk, they know that they must do that in a very professional manner. Part of the lesson that you saw is one of our daily routines is going on to Socrative and doing a reflective question. Sometimes it's based on videos, sometimes it's based on a picture, sometimes it's based on a text. Because we're reading a text today, the students were able to reflect on what the text is saying and give me their own personal opinion textually based using our ACE method. This is great because even though you see the students are working individually on Socrative to supply their answer, afterwards, it's uploaded onto the drive for them to work collaboratively and to give their opinion and talk to someone that they would otherwise be kind of shy for a lack of a better word, to actually go up to them and say, hey, this is my opinion. Do you agree or disagree with me? Unbeknownst to my students, what they don't know is by the end of one class period, they've actually written, with the amount of writing that they're doing, half an essay, just by typing in their response. And it's done in a matter of a 15-minute window of them having to do that. Take a moment, read your partner's response. Now, as for the SAMR model, the students are able to actually create beyond what they are presenting. They can create a model based off of their ideas, their concepts, and then just build upon that. So it's not just here's what I am saying, it's here's what my expert text is saying, here's what my evidence that I have research is saying, here is this information combined, and I have an entire team with me to present it. And this time they can reach a larger audience. And if we wanted to, we can actually take it to another classroom that can share the same thoughts. And in fact, I have 2 class periods that can bounce ideas off of each other to see if they believe one team over the other. So now you don't have your 35 kids talking to each other. You have 2 sets of 35, 75 students talking to one another over the same subject.